This is page 302, and we are going to do only two problems on this page. We're going to do 25 and 26, and by 26 I mean we're going to do all three parts, A, B, and C. So I'm going to do my best on these. These are pretty tricky. I'm going to do my best to explain them. You're welcome to watch these videos more than once if you need to. You're also welcome to ask me for help. Number 25 reads, communicate mathematical ideas. A dog weighs 44 pounds, and the veterinarian thinks it needs to lose 7 pounds. Michaela wrote the equation x plus 7 equals 44 to represent the situation. Kirk wrote the equation 44 minus x equals 7. Which equation is correct? And then could you write another equation? So let's think about this. What does the vet think the dog needs to do? The dog needs to lose weight. So how much would the dog need to weigh if it needs to lose weight? Well, it weighs 44 pounds right now, and it needs to lose 7 pounds. So most kids would read that and say, why can't I just do 44 minus 7? And you can. And that's actually the second part of the question. Can you write another equation? And the answer is yes, you can. So here's the other equation you could write. 44 minus 7 is equal to, I'm going to put x. And I can actually figure this out real quick by just going off to the side and doing 44 minus 7. 14 minus 7 is 7. And I borrowed, so 3 minus nothing is 3. It's 37, where x is going to need to be 37 pounds. Now, that's not part of the question. I didn't need to figure that out. But this is what the vet thinks. The vet thinks the dog needs to weigh 37 pounds. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this information right here to see if these other expressions work. So, for example, Michaela wrote x plus 7 equals 44. Is that true if I took 37 and put it right here? Is 37 plus 7 equal to 44? Yeah, it is. Oops. So what do we know about Michaela's expression? Michaela wrote, like if I put a 37 right here, 37 plus 7, we know hers is true. So we're going to write, hers is good. We're not going to write that. Kirk wrote the expression 44 minus x equals 7. And what is x? Well, we're going to take x and we're going to put it right here. And what is 44 minus 37? We already know that it's 7. So what do we know about his equation? It works too. So the first question was, which equation is correct? Both equations are correct. And that's all we have to write. But the second question was, can you write another equation that represents the situation? And it is. It's 44, how much the dog weighs, minus 7, that's how much the dog needs to lose, equals x, which ends up being 37, but we didn't have to figure that out. Well, we did. We had to figure it out to solve the first part, but it never asks. Like, there almost should be a third question that says, how much should the dog weigh? And we would say 37 pounds. All right, that's pretty abstract, but I know you're doing your best, so good job. Let's go ahead and move on. We're on number 26, and we're going to do all three parts, and then we're going to be done with this page and done with this lesson. Number 26 reads, multiple representation. The table shows the ages of Cindy and her dad, and here's what we know. When Cindy was just 2, her dad was 28. So this would be a good time to figure out how much older is her dad. Well, her dad is 26 years older. And we can prove that with the next one. When she was 10... he was 36. So that just proves that this is true. He was 26 years older. So we're going to use that information to answer the questions. A says, write an equation that relates Cindy's age to her dad's age when Cindy is 18. Tell what the variable represents. Well, she's 18. How old is her dad? Well, we could figure that out by subtracting. How old is he? We don't know. But we know he's 26 years older than her. And the answer is going to be 18. Now, some of you may say, well, why don't we just add 26 to 18? That would work too. Honestly, a different equation for this would be take her age, 18, add the 26, and we would get his age. I'm going to put x. Now, I chose x. It doesn't matter. It could be D for her dad. It could be x. It doesn't matter. B says, determine if 42 is a solution to the equation. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take 42 and we're going to plug it into one of these equations. We could plug it in right here, or we could plug it in right here. It doesn't really matter. Let's say I plug it in right here. I'm going to take x out and replace it with 42 because I'm trying to figure out if 42 is a solution. So I'm going to do 42 minus 26. I'm going to borrow and get 12. Minus 6 is 6. And 3 minus 2 is 1. I get 16. And you might say, yeah, that's right. Well, hold on. What does it need to be? It needed to be 18. And yet I got 16. So what do we think about 42? 42 is not, so we're going to say no. And then what, show your work, I could do this right here. I'll do this. I'll do 42 minus 26 is 16, comma, not 18. All right, C says, oh, I never did A. I knew I was supposed to do that somewhere. I need to go back and finish A real quick. It says, tell what the variable represents. X is Cindy's, I knew I was forgetting this, Cindy's dad's age. Okay, we're on C now. It says, explain the meaning of your answer in part B. So what is 42? Well, 42 was her dad's age. And since we said no, we need to say her dad is not 42 when she's 18. Now how come? Well, I'm gonna prove it right now. If I put a 42 in right here, it's wrong. What about if I just solve 18 plus 26? I'm doing this equation right here to figure out how old her dad is supposed to be. 18 plus, he was supposed to be 44, not 42. This whole question, B and D, basically in B they said, do you think maybe he's 42? And we checked and we found out that's not true. So what are we doing in C is we're relating it back to the problem, which is her dad is not 42 when she's 18. I'm going to put a comma. He's actually 44. Cool. Again, I know these can be tricky and abstract, and I know you're trying your hardest. So thank you for your best effort on this. You are done with the bookwork for lesson 11.1. You can go ahead and take the checkup and the quiz.